Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Thunder Today YouTube channel. I am your host, Dylan Hibbard, and in today's video, we're going to go over talking about the Thunder's toughest month of the schedule in the calendar year for the upcoming season. We'll talk about what I think the toughest month for the Thunder will be. We will also dive into the San Antonio Spurs and how they might cause more problems for the Thunder than most teams in the Western Conference. We'll dive into that. We will also talk about some off-season work videos that Chet and Aaron Wiggins have put on and really showing the growth that those two and the leap they can take into next season. And then at the end, we will talk about a list of the top 25 defenders coming out and where all of the Thunder defenders or players that will rank inside that top 25. But first off, we're going to talk about the Thunder's toughest month in this upcoming season, and there can be a bunch of different months that we can kind of look at and assume that will be the toughest month, but I want to zone in on the month of January. So kicking off 2026, the Thunder actually play on January 2nd. They will be in Golden State that day, and right after that, I think they have a break on January 3rd, and then 4th and 5th they play back-to-back. After that, every single day they have a off day game. So there's no consecutive off days in the month of January. And throughout the month, you're on the road a lot. I believe that the Thunder will be traveling over 15,000 miles alone in just the month of January. And a big stretch of that in the month of January is a 4-game road trip where the Thunder will be at Houston, a team that we should be seeing at the top of the Western Conference all year. We will also be going to Cleveland right after that 2 days later. It's another team that we expect to very well see in the finals and compete with us for the best record in the league. And then you have to go to Miami. Granted, Miami's not the team they used to be, but still Miami's one of those quality East teams. And then you have the Bucks with Giannis, who, like last year, they beat us in that game that didn't technically count, but the NBA Cup championship. So those are 4 games right there where you're on the road for 4 straight games. And, I mean, that's pretty much over a week long you're going to be on the road. You're going to be going down to Texas, over to Miami, up to Cleveland and Milwaukee before you're able to finally come back home. So I really think this will be kind of that turning point for the Thunder in the season. Will they be able to, in these 16, 17 games that they play, can they go 12-5, 11-6, when a lot of these teams that they're going to be playing are in the Western Conference and teams that they will be seeing throughout the playoffs, like the Mavericks? You have the Warriors, like we said. I believe the Nuggets are squeezed in there somewhere. You have the Rockets and the Cavs in there as well. So to me, this is going to be a very important month if you're able to go out there and go 12-5 or 13-5 and whatever it may be, and that be the toughest part of your schedule right before the All-Star break. That's going to propel the team to even more confidence and a better standing going into that All-Star break, where when you get out of that, you have about a month, 2 months of the season left, and then you're in the playoffs. So to be able to have this month of January go well for the Thunder is going to be massive, and it's going to rely a lot on how well they recover with all of those miles that they will be traveling. But we'll talk about now the San Antonio Spurs and why I feel like they might be a team that actually gives the Thunder more trouble than most people will think, at least for the Western Conference teams. Most people, when they think of teams that will give the Thunder trouble, you instantly think of your Nuggets, Rockets, maybe a Lakers or Mavericks. But to me, the Spurs have a very good chance to just be that team in the regular season where maybe when they play each other 4 times, the Spurs can win 3 of those 4 if the Thunder aren't completely locked in. Because yes, you have Wemby and now you have De'Aaron Fox, who they extended, but now you have Dylan Harper. He could be a Rookie of the Year contender right up there with Cooper Flagg. You have Stephon Castle, and now there's been rumors that the Spurs could potentially go after Trey Murphy from the He's still a free agent. He still hasn't signed, but it looks like he's planning on going back to New Orleans. But if we come to the trade deadline and the Spurs are shopping and they want to compete in the West, one of the guys they could get is Trey Murphy, who has been known to be one of the guys who can not necessarily shut Shea down, because nobody can do that, but he's one of the few guys who can actually slow him down just a little bit. Granted, slowing him down a little bit, he's still going to give you 25, 28 points a night. So that's still something to kind of keep your eye on. But for the Spurs, that would be massive, being able to get all-world defender right there alongside Wemby, who needs help on the defensive end because the Spurs, outside of Wemby, just aren't that great defensively. It's just Wemby is so good at defense, it makes the Spurs defense collectively look a lot better. But outside of Wemby, they're just not that great on defense. Fox doesn't play that great of defense. Stephon Castle is a below-average defender. So if you're able to go out there and get a guy who is defense-first oriented and doesn't really score about or care about scoring the ball, that could be massive for the Spurs. And then in turn give the Thunder even more problems if, say, the Spurs were able to get into that 10 seed on the play-in and maybe win their way into an 8 seed and have a matchup with the Thunder in the first round. Maybe the Spurs go off and win a game and make it a bit more uncomfortable for the Thunder. But you guys will have to let me know down below how you feel about the Spurs this upcoming season compared to if they're going to be able to give the Thunder trouble, or if you think they're maybe a year out away from actually contending in the Western Conference. But now we'll transition back into some Thunder player talk, talking about Aaron Wiggins and Chet Holmgren. As many of you know, they've been posting a lot of off-season videos, off-season workouts, shoot-arounds, specifically those two. And it's really exciting to see. These are two players who I really think if they take the next leap, it just feels like the Thunder almost become unbeatable at that point. Like we always talk about, Chet, I feel like, is the key that holds this team together, not only on the defensive side, but if Chet is able to go out there and score 20 and 10 on a nightly basis when you're getting 22, 25 from J-Dub and 30 plus from Shea, you're getting over 80 points every night from those guys if they're able to do that. And from Aaron Wiggins, I've talked about it plenty of times on this channel, I believe Aaron Wiggins could be the sixth man next year if he got the right amount of minutes, just from the fact of his three-level scoring, his ability. He is still growing as a defender. He's still an average defender. And if he can take that next step defensively, he's going to become an above-average defender, and it's going to feel like anywhere you look on the Thunder court is going to be a defensive nightmare for the opposing team. And for Wiggins, a guy who, like we've seen plenty of times on the Thunder even, if he was able to go out there and get up 20 shots a game, he could score 30 in his sleep. So I feel like if we can give Wiggins those six-man minutes, yeah, you're probably going to give Wallace and Caruso a lot of those minutes too. You're probably going to fluctuate between those three getting six-man minutes all the time. But for me, Wiggins can take that next jump and be a guy who averages double digits points off the bench if he had that amount of runway. So from that standpoint, I love seeing these off-season videos from them. It was really shown, at least from the workout standpoint, on Chet is in the gym every single day, even though it might not look like he's putting on muscle. If you look at photos from over the past years, you can tell that he is definitely getting muscle. Not necessarily how fast Giannis did, where it felt like overnight Giannis just gained 50 pounds of muscle. He's still going to be a little bit skinny, but you can tell from his videos that he's getting stronger. And if he can get those hip muscles and bones stronger, that's really going to help him for this upcoming season. And just to stay healthy and be out there for the 65-plus game threshold is going to be massive for the Thunder in the upcoming season. And finally, we're going to wrap it up with some more defensive talk, because the Thunder are the best defensive team in the league and possibly of all time, and it feels like we should always be talking about defense with them. A list of the top 25 defenders is being released across the NBA, and 25 through 17 has come out, and two Thunder players so far in those rankings have come out. They put Isaiah Hartenstein at number 23 on that list in best defenders in the league. They also put J-Dub at number 17. He didn't quite crack the top 15, which is surprising because he made an all-defensive team this year. But just see those two guys already, and we're not even the top 15. So you know in the top 15, the Thunder are going to most likely have three, possibly four, depending on if they put Chet in there. I think they should put Chet in there. But if they don't, you're going to have Caruso, Lu Dort, and Wallace that you're going to see in those top 15. So essentially, if the Thunder get those three guys, we're not going to count Chet, but let's assume Chet's not in it. 5 out of 25, that means a fifth of the best defenders in the league are on the Thunder, and that's not even counting Shea, who leads the league or is up there in top 3 in steals. You have Chet, if they don't put him on there, who I have said plenty of times I think is the best defender on the team and one of the best rim protectors we've seen just on a blocking standpoint. So for me, it is kind of crazy to just say that out loud, that a fifth of the players in the top 25 come from the Thunder, and that just really shows how great defensively this team is on just not only the perimeter side, but the interior, the steals, the blocks, the being able to deflect passes and trap at the half court is just kind of amazing to see. We'll see where those guys rank if they have Lou Dort and Caruso both in the top 5. We'll have to see how that list plays out as it comes out through the rest of the league. That'll be it for me today, guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.